Good morning. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. And I want to thank you for listening today. I've entitled this presentation, Is It Time to Go? I think that's a fabulous question to be asking. And it revolves around a conversation I had recently with a friend of mine who was considering the startup of a new business. But he went on to express his concerns about the recent AI, artificial intelligence technology issues with China. He's concerned about inflation, how that might impact his business, as well as rising interest rates. And I suggested that instead he should change his focus. What do you want to achieve with your customers was the question I asked him. And in other words, don't let as the saying goes, let the smoke get in your eyes. Instead, consider that we cannot let something like AI, artificial intelligence, stop us. But on the contrary, I think it could help a lot of businesses to streamline some of their operations. And the key is to figure out how. As far as inflation and his concern about that, I suggested and explained to him that we've had inflation for the last 50 years. And if you have any doubt about that, consider the purchasing power of the US dollar today versus 50 years ago. It's considerably different. And the reason is inflation has been eroding it to some at least small percentage every year during the last 50 years. So again, what do you want to do for customers? And just as significantly as a startup operator, what do you need to get yourself started? What tools do you need at your disposal? In the book Startup Nation by Dan Senor and Saul Singer, they talked about economic growth in the United States from 1980 to 2005, which was a really high growth, economically speaking, it was a high growth time period for the US. And they went on to say without startups, we would have had negative economic growth without these very same startups. And the reason is because that's where a lot of the new jobs come from. So I shared that with my friend and went on to explain that Carl Schramm, who was the president of the Kauffman Foundation, right here in Kansas City area where I live, he went on to say that the U.S. needs startups all the time, every year, to continue their economic leadership in the world. So going back to my friend, I asked him one question. If he knew he could not fail, what exactly would he do for customers? If he knew he could not fail, what would he do for customers? And how would he structure his business? I think it's a far superior focus and likely will end up in a much more positive end result. And I encouraged him to be one of those startups to move forward. Not worry about the side noise, the side shows, and the smoke, but rather get in there and do the best that he can for customers and make sure that the payback for them is greater than the cost of his service. As Teddy Roosevelt so accurately stated, and I quote, "You should do what you can, where you are, with what you have." End of quote. I want to thank you for listening today. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. Thank you very much for listening.